he just wandered over and fucking turned it down. Just turned the fucking thing down. Like, the balls on this guy. And I was in the distance and we caught eyes and I was like the Robert Redford meme, you know, like just the approving nod, you know.
The two Doyle.
The groundskeeper in Rudy at the end of the movie when he just looks at him and he goes.
Exactly.
Hello. Whoa, sorry.
My bad.
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond and Is This Good Companion Pod, where I catch up with my friend and yours, Jason Doyle.
I missed it this time, so I had to do it. Hello, everybody.
A melody that's sweeping the nation.
Fucking, I was humming that for 2 days after we recorded last time.
Me too.
I don't know why.
It's hard for me to believe, but I really do think I came up with that off the top of my head in the moment because I saw people in the Discord, a thriving community, of course,
yes.
Patreon.com/isthisgood, trying to be like, oh, it reminds me of this classical thing or this marching band thing, and then no one brought the evidence that it was a direct knockoff of something.
Exactly.
So it's an original. Okay, I want ASCAP. Is that what it's called?
Sure. SoCan, ASCAP.
ASCAP, the Association of Songwriters or whatever, mm-hmm. that pays you the royalties. But also, I understand the letters might line up for you, but get a better name. I think if if the letters come out to ASCAP,
yeah, exactly.
Like what I would describe as someone with their head up their own butt. They're wearing an ass cap.
Absolutely, 100%.
So let's rethink that. And producing the show to show my respect for her and the craft of audio engineering, I'm turning off my air conditioner in a heat wave, Rachel Doyle.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Could you have sacrificed maybe a shirt without a ripped collar as well?
Wow.
No, I can't because funny you should ask me that. I am wearing a shirt with a ripped collar, which, by the way, is in style right now.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm also doing that for the craft of audio engineering because I put the dog in my room where my clothes are, and he's asleep. And if I go in there and get a new shirt, other than the one I slept in last night, to be honest, I will wake him up, and then he will need to come out and pace back and forth, and then clippity-clop, and then you're going to be in there editing every clip and every clop.
Oh,
right?
that's what I do.
Rachel?
I'm meticulous.
Get out the pencil tool. By the way, it's a heat wave every day over here in Atlanta, and we too have our AC turned off. So just
okay. And you know what my reaction to that is? My reaction to that is thank you. Thank you.
And
it's a competition. Now.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. Also, I have this ring light here right in front of me. It's burning up. It's like there's two suns, you know?
I know.
I don't know which is which.
I can see the smoke coming out of your retinas right now through the Zoom.
You have like a diffuser on your light, so
yeah, that's true.
That's probably not producing any heat.
No, that's actually not. It's LED, and neither is your ring light. Is it?
Are you sweating right now? Are you sweating?
No, but I do smell very bad. I haven't had a shower in a couple of days.
What?
Yeah.
Why
Come
more
on.
than one?
That's not true.
Why more than one? I don't know. I just didn't shower yesterday. You know why? Because, well, we went to our final swim meet last night. So I was like, I'm not going to shower. It's going to be so sweaty and hot and stuff. And then I just never showered when I got home. So
That is so unlike you. Are you well?
No, I stink.
No, I mean, are you well?
Yeah,
Up in the old noggin?
Things are falling apart.
Things are falling apart because the season ended. I mean, I know
yes.
The No Dunks community, I mean, not community, but hosts get upset when I say, oh, congratulations on another season, because they say, it's not the end of the season.
Right.
Because now we got to do the draft, and then we got to do free agency, and then we got to do summer league, and then we got to still do 3 shows a week, and then we blah, blah, blah. So you can't say anything to these people. When can you say congrats on another season? When can I say that?
You can say that.
The day before the next season starts?
Yes, actually. Yes. That's when.
You'll be even more annoyed if I say it to you then, because then you'll be like, oh, here we go again down into the The content salt mines.
Back to the trenches, you assholes.
Well, I was going to say you could say it at the end of July, but you can't this year because you would not believe what J.E. Skeets has cooked up for the Olympics. We're not ready to announce it yet,
right.
but
The Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics is coming, and Skeets is a big fan of the Olympics, the Summer Olympics specifically, and guess what? So is his wife. So there's a little tease for you.
Oh, okay. And speaking of July, Las Vegas. Come to Las Vegas, July 12th, to the No Dunk Show. Help me here, 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Level
MGM.
Up. Level Up is the name of the bar in the MGM. Oh my God.
Grand.
Yeah, MGM Grand.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
And I
That's
say
what
that
need to
because I will be there. JD will be there.
Yes.
Rachel will be there.
say. Yes.
And so we're going to piggyback on this thing, do zero work, and call it a Is This Good meetup.
Sure.
Yeah.
You two will be doing zero work. I will be producing a live show.
Well, you'll be doing zero work for this show.
Yeah, I guess.
So there you go. Don't buy JD drinks till after the show, guys. Okay, that's our only request.
Yes.
Did anything good or not good happen to you this week, JD?
Well, I already mentioned it. We had the final swim meet of the season last night, and it was great. It was. I'm saying it's good because I'm glad it's over.
It was also good because it was good.
It was good. It was good. It was good. And I had volunteered to be a timer for the second half.
Uh-huh.
I fucking didn't even show up for it. I checked in at the beginning of the meet. I was like, yep, I'm here. And then they're like, okay, cool. Just FYI, we have this new system. It was an away, a fancier pool, let's be honest. They had a system. It's called a dolphin system. So it's got, all the swim meets that I've been to so far, it's just been a whistle, like toot. That's how they start the race. No gun, no whatever. This place had the Olympic style boop, like the tone, right? And
the three beeps. The beep.
there was only one. There was one beep. Yeah, there was.
You got to go boop boop beep.
I know, but they.
Oh, actually, I don't even think they do go
don't
boop
think they
boop beep
do
in the
that.
Olympics. I think they just go beep, which I've
just
never
beep.
fully understood.
Yeah, the starter says ready, set, on your blocks or whatever, and then beep. And
By the way, can I say that I don't know that this is true. As a swim parent, you could tell me. Starting, that seems to me to be the hardest part about swimming. Because, at the Olympics level, where everything is down to 1/10 of a second, 2/10 of a second, whether you jump off that block at exactly the right moment, it's like in Mario Kart. You got to press the accelerate button, I think, when the yellow light comes on, and that gives you a burst. Too early or too late, and you sputter off the top. So I was always nervous, like, I'm just basically saying I'm surprised that every single race doesn't get stopped immediately because someone jumped too early.
right, yeah.
They would just get disqualified. They're not going to stop the race for one.
Well, that's the question I'm going over in my head as I'm perched on that starting block, Rachel, is do I go out too early and risk getting disqualified, or do I hold back and lose this race before it's even started?
Well,
Now I do all that thinking. The coach pats me on the back and says, hey, you're not cut out for this thing.
Do you not get just like one strike? Like, I've definitely
There's
been
no
in.
lets.
There's no lets. Like,
I don't think so.
I mean, this is a pretty chill. This is for fun. This is like all the pools competing against each other. This isn't like high school, college Olympics. But last night, as I was sitting as one of the place judges, the opposite team, because there's a recorder and then another place judge, both on the other team, said, your coach asked for DQs tonight. And there's like tiny kids in the pool racing right now. And I'm like, oh, he seems really chill. She's like, yeah. So the official kept coming over and with disqualification notes for all these tiny children.
Yeah, man. Like, teach them a lesson.
what?
He's teaching them a lesson.
Well, he's like, this is an important one.
Yeah.
It was their last
Okay, but
one.
maybe we go for little kids below the age of 12, let's say. we go double DQs. So you get DQ'd, you get taught the lesson, but then you get DQ,
right.
Dairy Queen.
Oh,
and then it's like, oh.
That's cute.
That would be such a backfire. Everyone would be false
Like,
starting right
ouch.
away, like doing whatever they could, giving the starter the finger as they're coming. It's like, disqualified. Yes. Give me that peanut butter parfait. Anyways, as I was saying, I didn't show up for my shift because they have this system, the beep.
Yeah.
And they have these newfangled stopwatches. They're the device. And, you don't even have to start it. All you do is stop it when the kid touches the end at the end of the race. And they had 2 people signed up for this. And so the hosts of the pool are like, we don't need backups. We got this
did they
brand
say
new.
that?
Yeah, they did. And then our person was like, well, okay, you can just stand there and write down the stuff. And I'm like,
No,
I'm not doing
thank
that.
you.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It's like if
you a 50 or something year old man can do some pointless busy work for us right
Yeah,
now.
thank you.
That's right.
As the person beside is like, would you get the fuck away from me so I can do this?
Yeah, exactly.
But doesn't each lane need a timer?
Yeah.
But they don't need
So if there were only
timers.
2 people, how are they doing that?
No, there were 2 people per lane. Like
Oh,
that's
2
what they
people per
scheduled.
lane?
Yes, that's what I'm
Oh my
saying.
God.
Like-
and by the way, the person that comes in 5th, or I don't know, how many lanes are there?
There were
6.
6 last night.
6. The person that comes in 6, your penalty for losing, being the worst of 6, is you don't get to know your time. You know what your time was?
Right.
Not good enough. That's as much as you need to know.
No.
Even Rachel.
They're trying to be old times, Matt. You got to know whether you did better than
Yeah.
last time. It's your own personal achievement as well. You're trying to do
Just
better.
then do the math. The first person finished in 35 seconds.
Right.
They were out of the pool and dry by the time you got out.
Right. They were in the parking lot halfway home.
Stop. Terrible.
In some cases, that is what happened.
So you're happy that it's over, but are you going to go back and do this shit next year?
Well, if Jackson wants to do it, then yeah.
He said
for
he
sure.
did. He already
Maybe we
said
could
he
talk about
did.
it. There's been a lot of discourse now, actually, about how these ultra competitive leagues for youth sports, like travel teams and stuff, are ruining America.
Yes,
Which is not really a new idea so much, but it does seem to be gaining steam of this idea of like, you lose your weekends as a family.
Yeah.
And you lose all sorts of other benefits that one could gain from having kids just be outside and free play, or maybe taking them away for the weekend, or going camping, or bonding with their siblings or with their parents, having play dates with friends, all those things when you're spending all weekend driving from place to place.
Especially when they're younger. And
yeah,
it's
I
like,
think that's what
do
we're
they
talking
even
about.
want to do that? But Jackson's like, I don't want to fucking spend the weekend with you. I want to go play soccer. Get away from me.
I was the last cut I wonder how old I was. I'm probably like 11 or 12. I was the last cut to make it to the travel hockey team in my area. And I think my parents might have sabotaged me because they kept telling me they were like, you don't want to do this. And I was like, but I do want to do it. They were called the Golden Knights, JD. Who wouldn't want to be a Golden Knight?
God damn.
So, but they were basically like, well, we'll never do anything on the weekend.
Right.
You know, sometimes we will take you skiing, Montreal, we got mountains right there.
Tremblant?
Yeah, and these other kids, never got to do that. Anyways, I got cut, but I think they might have told the person.
No, thank you.
He's got
He's
bad
his
knees.
bed. He doesn't have the mental fortitude.
Yeah, he looks good today, but God, halfway through the season, he's gonna be on that bench. But yeah.
Anyways, I just played for my school, and that was enough fucking traveling, just being on the bus going from town to town, and enough concussions too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You can't get concussed in a pool, I guess.
Oh, my goodness. Last night, I thought one did.
Really?
She hit her head hard on the end. She got first, though.
Back crawl.
Well, that's what. That mentality is what gets you first place.
That's what it
You mean like in
takes.
touching the wall?
She was doing the backstroke and bashed her head into the...
Wow, she fucked up then, because if she
On
had
your
been
arms?
reaching,
Yeah.
she would have touched earlier. So that's like probably 2 or 3 tenths of a second she could have shaved off her time.
Well, she
Yeah.
still got first, so
Well,
I'm sure that helped.
Yeah. Worst announcer
Oh, my God.
ever in any live event that I've been in. Worst announcer, and I'm sorry to say that because these people are like, it's obviously a mom, a volunteer
So it could have been Rachel.
who, well, Rachel would have done a way better job, I think.
Because I wouldn't have been so thirsty. This woman
Very
wanted
thirsty.
some fucking attention because she would not shut up. But one really lovely thing out of this, there's a guy that I think Jason wants to be like a little bromance with that he was sitting there chuckling about. Because this guy, you were sitting there laughing at him because you adore this guy and you barely know him.
This guy, his last name is Doyle. That's all you need to know. And this woman would not shut up into the mic, and not just like next race, is 12 and under girls butterfly or whatever. She would do that. And then on deck, like it was a missed calling sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody who's just so goddamn. This was you playing your guitar with your window open. You know what I mean? Like
so
I'm gonna get discovered.
She was submitting the tape to ESPN.
Yes, I'm getting discovered tonight.
But so what was the most offensive?
The most offensive thing that she did was cheer into the microphone. Like, so she would have the microphone and she would be like, "Let's go, girls!" Whoa! Like, oh my God. And it was just like black. And people were where we were, where the speakers were, just literally ducking, and like, God damn it.
But bring it back to your.
But anyway, this guy, he was working the bullpen near the speakers, and it was just that PA system, cordless mic. So she was on the other end of the pool, cordless mic. So he just wandered over and fucking turned it down. Just turned the fucking thing down, like the balls on this guy. And I was in the distance, and we caught eyes, and I was like the Robert Redford meme, Like just the approving nod,
The two Doyles.
The guy, the groundskeeper in Rudy at the end of the movie when he just looks at him and he goes.
Exactly.
But it's just like two Doyles. I get you. I see you.
It's like you just saved this night, because I love the vibe of a swim meet because it's so chill, It's just like there's water splashing. It's evening is descending. It's Atlanta, so there's trees everywhere. It's just a good vibe, right? And
ice cream sandwich slowly melting on a wrist.
Oh, King of Pop's there last night. This place was fancy.
And not having to do this the whole time. Anyway, so I think she came and turned it back up later.
Oh, hell yeah. That's her thing.
Because
you don't walk into a restaurant and start fucking with the heaters because you're too hot or too cold. Those are for trained professionals. I
was watching her after he turned it down, and she was just like incensed. Like she would say her announcements, she'd be like, "What the hell is happening here? I can barely hear myself."
I can barely hear myself. You don't need a microphone. You don't need to be amplified to hear yourself. I'm hearing myself right now. I guess I am talking to a microphone, but I'm not hearing it. I'm not listening to my monitor.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Anyway, so and then I don't know if sabotage happened or something happened. The mic just stopped working. I'm going to blame sabotage. I don't know. But then she was relegated to a megaphone.
She would not give up.
Oh, no.
I was sitting outside.
That's the worst sound. Audio, like a megaphone is meant for a sprint. You know what I mean? It's meant to say one thing. Mm-hmm. It's not meant for a monologue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he went back after and looked at us and was like, "I thought I turned this shit down." But then she went and she was beside me cheering with the microphone by my fucking head while I was the place judge. And I'm like, "Why are you doing this to me? I'm going to throw you in this pool, bitch."
I hope nobody listens.
Does that ever happen at the end of the meet? Are any of the parents like, "Woohoo!" and they jump in?
There were people diving into. There were swimmers though. They're like going off the diving board and stuff. But yeah, no parents jumped in or anything.
I got douched enough that we haven't. Look at your face. Don't be shocked. The last meet, which we haven't been on the show since then, because there's been 2 meets in 1 week.
Yeah.
I got from head to toe as the place judge for that too. My underwear was soaked.
Wow. That's because you were sitting next to me.
Goals AF. Okay, for marriage, people, listen up.
It was an accidental belly flop that completely, I got all of it.
Yeah.
You got nothing. How did it?
I was completely soaked. Anyways.
Whatever.
I don't know. See. Yeah. Anyways,
this all sounds terrible to me. So I'm
This
putting
is
it all
this
in
is-
the
It was
bad
great.
category.
I loved it.
Can I tell you this, Matt? When you start having kids and there's sports stuff starts happening. This is the best as it gets. I mean,
But it was great.
It's still terrible, but it's not. It's not. It's not like an all day baseball thing where you have to travel, hundreds of miles to get to. Like, this is just an evening in Atlanta, a cooler.
Yeah,
There's
I
like
guess.
people drinking beers and stuff, hot dogs, grilling.
Okay, fine, but swimming is boring.
Oh my God.
No,
Nobody's watching the races.
That's
except-
not
okay,
true.
good.
Stop it.
I guess everything is boring, really. Like it's no more exciting to watch 10-year-olds, take balls in baseball or something,
Yeah.
and have no one be able to make the throw to first base.
Right. Yeah.
Not exciting either.
Yeah.
I have some theories, by the way, that I'd like to run by you.
Oh, boy.
Because my thing is, I still haven't fucking seen Furiosa.
Okay.
I'm Furiosa at myself. You've seen it, right? And enjoyed it?
I've seen it and I enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay. So, there's like, we talked before about how everyone's like, the sky is falling, no one's going to see movies. And there's been a lot of people that have come out and given reasons as to why. Mm-hmm. Like some temporary things like the WGA and SAG strikes, for instance, means there were less good movies that were out this summer.
Right.
Another reason, obviously, is it's expensive. People have giant TVs. Mm-hmm. During the pandemic, we all got used to movies going from the theaters to our home very quickly, sometimes on the same date.
Yep.
There's other options. There's TikTok and Instagram and all this other shit and blah, 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 right? But I have two theories I've never heard anyone say before,
Okay.
probably because they're not impacting the theater going experience at all. But anyways, there are things that have happened to me recently that have made me think. Okay. So I'd like to run these by you. You tell me if you think there's any validity to these theories about why fewer people are going to the theaters.
Okay. Go for it.
Theory number one. The expectation of everything being IMAX. So IMAX is good for the theaters and for the distributors because the IMAX ticket is more expensive. So that's partly what fueled like the Barbenheimer thing, right?
Sure.
Like Oppenheimer, for instance, there was this big thing about how Mission Impossible was going to be in theaters, and Tom Cruise was calling up the IMAX guy and being like, "You got to give me more IMAXs." And he was like, "No, Oppenheimer's coming out a week later. We've already talked to Christopher. He's getting the IMAXs, right?" But now every trailer is like, "See it on the biggest screen possible," right? See it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Like fucking the new Kevin Costner movie where he rides a horse. That one says "see it on the biggest screen possible."
Oh, the one
right?
where he rides a horse. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
that one. Different from the other movies in the 80s and 90s where
where he's
Tom
riding a
Costner-
jet ski.
Well, that was, in a sense, the jet ski was his horse.
Yes.
I bet he conceived as, what the hell was that movie? Waterworld.
Yeah.
As a post-apocalyptic Western. I
Sure.
bet that's what he told people.
Yeah. It's a good sell.
Okay.
Mad Max on the water.
There you go.
Yeah.
So then Furiosa comes out. It's in IMAX. I'm like, great. I got to see it on the biggest screen possible. That's what they told me.
Yeah.
Then I don't see it the first week because, whatever. Life. Sorry. The next week I go, I'm like, Joe, let's go see it. It's not in fucking IMAX anymore. And now suddenly I feel like I'm not seeing it in the way it's meant to be seen. I'm not seeing it in a premium experience. And somehow my brain, even though I know this isn't true, is going, is it really that different now to see it in a tiny mall theater?
Right.
And some of these theaters are really small.
No.
Versus waiting a month and seeing it at home on our TV. And now I feel less incentive to go see Furiosa because I missed the IMAX window.
Interesting.
Anything to this? What do you think?
I think you're right, especially for, movie fans who want to see it on the biggest screen possible. I saw it at the what's that place called? The Plaza Theater.
Yeah.
So it's a repertory theater. It's like an independent. It's the kind of place where they show Rocky Horror every Friday night. And it wasn't on the big screen. Like Lincoln wanted to go there because he likes that theater. I like it too. But we were on the smallest, like I'm not kidding. The screen was not much bigger than my screen at home.
What?
Jesus.
It was
like the
tiny.
kind of screen where 15 minutes before the movie starts, they're like, talk to the employee and be like, Bill, okay, go roll out the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Put in the DVD. Dude. But yeah.
Like there's going to be like a PowerPoint done on it.
Right, totally.
After.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that it held maybe 25 people, this theater.
Oh my God.
I still enjoyed the movie. I'm happy that I went out and paid to go. And this kind of theater, I got to drink like a double rum and Coke while I was watching, the movie and stuff. But yeah, I think you're exactly right. It's like, well, I missed IMAX, so I guess I'll just wait for my TV, because why wouldn't you? I've been told through the marketing, through everybody else is saying, you gotta see it in IMAX or fuck it. Don't see it at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think you're 100% right on that.
Okay, now a second problem with the IMAX that leads into my second theory is if you look at the IMAX for Furiosa, or for any IMAX movie really, the first week, all the people that are super into this franchise, nerds, will have bought out all the seats, right? But the seats in the very front of the IMAX will be free.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I'm like, well, I already know that if I go to the showing, I'll be sitting one row from the fucking IMAX screen. I won't be able to see anything. I'm not going.
Right.
Which gets us into
Fair
theory
enough.
2. Reserved seating is making fewer people go to the cinema.
I disagree with that one.
Okay, well, here's my thinking here.
Okay.
For some people, it's a planned in advance thing, in which case reserved seating is probably good. But many people are at the mall, or they're out, or it's a last minute thing. Honey, what do you want to do tonight? They want to go. You open your app. Every single theater by me is reserved seating for everything, not just IMAX. So you go, and then you see, well, the only things available are right in the front, in which case I don't want to go. Or there's these little orphan single seats in the middle of the cinema, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now we're not sitting together. And now the theater will never sell these little orphan seats. Whereas if there was no reserved seating and it was popular, and let's say there was 200 tickets, 200 people would go and then settle themselves in to the cinema in the best way possible. And sometimes, sure, I've gone to movies where I'm sitting in one row and, the person I'm with is sitting right behind me. You deal with it there. But if you know in advance that's going to be the case, you're just like, fuck it. I'll just, again, stay at home.
Yeah. You're
so
right.
I think it's worse for the consumer and the theater in that sense. Because I look a lot just since I've had this theory, and there's always these orphan seats anywhere. And the first 3 rows are not a single seat taken.
Right. And it doesn't have, when it's reserved seating, you don't have the natural, well, my girlfriend's with me. Can you all just shove over, like where it used to be, right? Like, and it would fill up naturally that way. And now you just don't do that. But that's why that's a draw for me. A plus for me is the reserved seating, because then I'm like, I don't have to fucking worry about rushing in there and being in there 20 minutes before the trailers even start. I know where my seat is, and if someone is sitting in my seat, I'm like, get the fuck out of my seat. You know what I mean? Like, it's a plus for me. It gets me there rather than keeps me away.
I guess, but sometimes I walk into the theater and I look at my tickets and I see the seats I selected online, and I'm like, I would have preferred to be in the theater first before picking my seats. I'm like, this is too close or this is too far, or I didn't realize this would be laid out. Laid out in this way. Most theaters are somewhat the same, but you're 100% right. People don't want to move over because they're like, hey man, it says my seat on the ticket. But even more so, if they step into a seat that's not theirs, they might be fucking over someone that, for all they know, is just late coming. And then that person's going to walk and be like, hey, why are you in the seat? And they're like, well, that guy made me move over. You know what I mean?
This is what has to happen.
It's not efficient.
It's not efficient, but this is what has to happen. At a certain point, if an orphan seat pops up, it's half price, right? The front row of an IMAX or front 2 rows or whatever, those are half price. They just make them half price, because I'd sit in the front row every time.
The problem is, though, people will start buying the front row tickets, getting there, waiting to see what other seats are open, and then moving to them. Then someone else walks in late.
So
and
what?
Like, hey, you're in my seat.
So what? You still have
anarchy. That's what.
It's not anarchy. If they're empty seats, they're empty seats. You pay half price. You're in the front row. If you can move back, great. It's like buying tickets to a basketball game in the upper bowl and you move down. Game's still happening. They're still selling concessions. There's still, it's still happening. I'd rather.
Yeah, but that's us mentioning a product for free without them paying us.
Yeah, but we're talking about opening weekend of Furiosa, which nobody went to, but if the front two rows fill up first, then it's like, damn it, I have to buy full price tickets for the best seats in the house. So who cares? And then the front row people aren't moving back. They have to make it. There has to be more of an incentive to be in those front seats than just you snooze, you lose, and you're not gonna have a good experience because it's fucking IMAX. That's the detriment of IMAX. It's super huge. So front row seats, you take your Dramamine and grab all because it's fucking. It's gonna be a wild ride for you, I guess. I don't know.
Well, are people not talking about these things because they haven't thought of them, or because they're actually not really important as to why people aren't going? But I guess all I can speak for is myself, and it is in a world where there are so many options and there's so many things to do. As soon as you get a negative input, and I think seeing, we're gonna have to not sit together, or we're gonna have to sit in the front row,
right,
is a negative input. Telling you I need to see this movie in IMAX and then taking it out of IMAX in a week.
Right.
Is a negative input.
Right. When
I know this thing's going to be out for $19.99 and it'll be way cheaper to just get it at home.
For sure.
But now I'm wondering, am I going to miss out on something? But now that I know you saw it on the size of an airplane screen, some guy holding up his iPad,
Pretty much.
I guess I feel better about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think what really, and I think people are talking about this, is just the habits of people. They would rather, it's not just about the size of my TV screen. It's the fact that I can pause the movie and go take a piss and make a sandwich. And if I look at my phone, I'm not going to get grief from the person behind me unless it's my wife, Well,
that's another good point. I would go to way more movies if you could somehow guarantee me, I know this is impossible, a quiet and undistracted theater going experience. Yeah. I would 100% go, because frankly, you are asking me to pay a shit ton of money between the tickets themselves, the concessions, the parking, the babysitter.
Right.
That's me straw manning. I don't have a child, but
but still, it is a fact.
Paying the sitter. Anyway, what was my point? I started talking about the sitter, and now I just imagined a life that I don't have, and it distracted me.
Just the cost of going to see it, to see something.
Oh yes,
in a theater,
and then I go and I spend all this money, including the sitter.
Yes.
And then two people are talking next to me the whole time.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like angry, and now I'm like watching it on my iPad would have been better than this.
Yes.
But they can't. I mean, they can't guarantee. I know like Alamo Drafthouse tries to lay the smackdown, but
people.
I don't particularly like Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh, I've never been to one, so
they just got bought.
Oh.
Which is neither here nor there, but it's a fact I knew, so I said it.
Okay.
Anyways, if you could guarantee me, and we know anecdotally that people's behavior has gone to shit since the pandemic, right? People don't know how to be in public spaces. You hear it all the time.
They were shitty before, though. Let's be honest.
100%.
There was a dude at Furiosa. There was a dude who fucking belched like Homer Simpson style at least 3 times during the movie, like forcing it out, like Elf in that scene in Elf when he chugs the Coke,
right.
like that loud.
Did you hear
just
that?
I would take that versus someone talking.
I know, but it's like it is.
You could time a burp
better.
like
You're
an
right.
explosion's about to happen. Time the burp.
You're right. I once had a guy who was snoring so loudly, like in the theater, like echoing. The quiet parts. It was one of the Terminator movies.
Oh my
God. And it was just so fucking distracting, but he wasn't talking. He just literally fell asleep. This is what happens when you're in public, right? And when you're paying $25 to see a fucking movie, I don't need to hear you. I can do that at home with Rachel snoring next to me.
But even the concert going experience.
Yeah.
Again, this is anecdotal to me, but also anecdotal to shit I've read online, that people are just talking during shows. They're just treating it as if they're at a bar.
Right. I got less of a problem with that.
Less because the music is in theory louder and you can't hear it as well. Mm-hmm. But it's happened to me a couple times where it truly does ruin the experience. Like people behind you are just talking the whole fucking time.
Right.
Then I went to see like a country artist maybe a couple months ago, and it was at the Troubadour, which is really small, and there were just people just chatting the whole. Like it seemed like honestly like a first date kind of. But the music wasn't loud enough to drown them out. So everyone shut up, or I'm never going to the movies again.
What a threat.
What a threat.
But also, like, who cares? I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to save the movies. I love movies. But also, you're releasing it for $20. Like, that's a lot of money, like, on digital.
No, it's not. You have a family of 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's
still $5 a person.
That's what I pay over here at the discount movie theater, the AMC, $5.
Okay, snacks are cheaper. You don't have to pay for a sitter.
You're right. I'm just saying that it's. I've seen.
Why does everyone talk about the fucking sitter when it comes? Like we need to get Bob Iger and the head of every Hollywood studio to come together and be like, we've been working on the sitter issue, and we understand. We feel your pain.
Yeah.
But we will get through this, and just come up with some solutions.
Yeah.
Maybe
Daycare.
a playpen outside, daycare, movie daycare.
It's a giant playpen.
That's not a bad idea. I like that. Yeah, well,
Tiny theater next to the theater that just shows kids movies. Hold on, this is a good idea.
Yeah. Well, then you have to
Just
sort of
throw those fuckers in there.
Yeah.
Lock the door and walk away.
Lock the door, make as much noise as you want, and you just ply them with popcorn and gummy bears. They're fine.
The sitter issue is because it's hourly. I think that's why people they get up in arms about it.
And then the movies are longer.
They're longer, and you can't control certain things, and it's like, God damn it. I'm going to be here. That's another $10 or however much they're paying.
Remember, we were paying $17 an hour when we first moved down here? That was like, what, 10-ish years ago? I'm like, $17? Where's a 12-year-old I can get?
Now, what's it now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. We're out of
I
that
assume
game.
more than $17. $17 is fine.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
If you're
living
gone
in
for
LA.
5 hours, how much
Is
is
it?
that? It's like $100.
You're
You
not
know,
just
around
got-
it up.
Go see a short film. You'll be more educated when the Oscars come up.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
All right, some quick housekeeping. If you'd like JD and Rachel to be able to afford a sitter,
Need a
support
sitter.
the show. Go to patreon.com/isthisgood. You'll get ad-free episodes. You'll get access to our thriving community on Discord. You'll get access to an episode every month that no one else will hear that came out last week that was just a delight. Wouldn't you agree, JD?
Absolute delightful. I can't believe Rachel took her top off in that one. That was
That was weird. But she also...
unnerving.
I know you're joking, but didn't she talk about taking her top
She
off
did.
in that show?
Yeah, she
did.
actually
Okay.
did this almost because we were talking
Yeah.
about the Oilers fan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And sorry to Canada. We do apologize to you
For what?
for losing. For
Oh,
losing.
well, yeah.
We're sorry.
It was a
Our
bummer.
hearts go out to them.
That's a bummer. Yeah, for sure.
How about Alanis singing the anthem in both... I was going to say both languages. What I meant to say is both anthems.
Oh, I didn't see that. She was singing. Wow.
She sang the Canadian and then the American anthem.
Well, she lives here.
Bit of a traitor, Alanis.
In the
'Cause she's
same
a
way
citizen
that
of both.
we are. Yeah.
No, but would you sing the American anthem?
Absolutely
If it was
not.
like...
I don't even know the
Right.
words.
Well, then maybe you should get the words wrong.
Yeah.
That's why they lose, because threw them off that the anthem words were incorrect. Like you go full Jose, can you see?
Yeah.
All right. Also, send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Could always use some good emails with some topics, some settle thises. You could just say hello too. That's fine. And don't forget to subscribe to Is This Good on YouTube and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. So this Monday we had a show come out with Michael McMillan. He's from True Blood, but he has a podcast called Bigfoot Collectors Club. And he told a story. First of all, he told a story about seeing a ghost. And then he told a story about seeing an alien.
Right.
And JD, you told me that you have a theory about what this alien could have been. You have the Scully version. He's the Mulder saying, I saw an alien outside my window.
Yeah.
Do you need me to set up at all like what the story was?
No, I think people listen to it.
He saw an alien
He
outside
saw
his
an
window.
alien. Yeah. He had seen
The
a
dogs
ghost.
were barking.
He saw a ghost earlier, and that story...
You make it sound like it was the same
Not
day.
the same day. Yeah. Earlier in
It was
his
years
life.
apart.
Yeah. He saw a ghost. And, I mean, I know that he believes that he saw a ghost. And I don't know, maybe he did see a ghost because it was creeping the hell out of me. And then he has a story about seeing an alien, which was at his house. And The only thing he said about the alien that makes me think that he thinks it's an alien is the shape of the silhouette was like the traditional, almost close encounters.
The take me to your dealer alien.
Yes, exactly. Here's my theory, though. That alien is a ghost.
What?
And I think that Michael...
I was so fucking excited to come on. You teased me last week. You were like, I think I have a theory about what he saw.
Yeah, no. He saw a ghost, but because he's into the paranormal and he's into cryptids and all that stuff, he just wants to fill out that bingo card of,
my God.
I saw an alien and I saw a ghost.
I thought you had a rational explanation you were going to throw into the atmosphere.
Well, it was probably a guy trying to break into his house, let's be honest. And, the way that the light was, shining against the drapes or whatever, he thought it might be an alien because it was shaped like E.T. or whatever. But
I thought you were going to do some myth busting. Like you were going to go outside with a light, put it behind your head. Rachel was going to be there taking photos of you seeing, like, how do I get my head to look like an alien?
Now, just a conspiracy on how he can get his audience to grow by checking off his bingo card.
That's right. I think it's just it's like I've seen an alien. It's
you know what? Can you see a fucking alien? It might help us out.
Well, exactly right. Yes, exactly. No, it's way more impressive to say I've seen a ghost and I've seen an alien if I'm doing a paranormal podcast than it is to say, well, I've seen 2 ghosts.
Boring.
Who cares about that? Who cares about that?
It sounds like 2 people that believe in the paranormal trying to one-up each other. One guy's like,
exactly.
I saw an alien, and then the other guy's like, yeah, I saw an alien too. And the other guy's like, oh yeah? Well, the alien I saw was a ghost.
Right, exactly.
Oh yeah, I saw an alien that was a ghost. Well, the ghost that was an alien that I saw was actually a mummy that had come back to life because it was awakened by an ancient curse.
Yes.
You win.
Pretty cool.
No, exactly.
Well, Rachel, you weren't on that show. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No.
Have you ever seen an alien?
No.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Do you believe in aliens?
I mean, to the extent that the universe is so vast, I could never imagine that there couldn't be something out there.
So yes, you believe in aliens.
I mean,
I'm too tired to do a fake snore. Hold on, let me try that one. No, for some reason it's not coming through my nose.
You gotta relax the epiglottis.
Anyways, Rachel, that's me falling asleep at your, sort of rational explanation.
Yeah,
I want you to just jump in with both feet.
I mean, I said no.
Do you believe in lizard people?
No. I'm so interesting.
Okay, so you've never done you grew up a crazy girl in a remote area. You never went to the woods and did a seance. Nothing in the occult.
Yeah, we did the Ouija stuff, but I mean, that's because I was a dumb teenage girl doing stupid shit that was exciting. I've grown up a little bit.
What you're telling me is you had the innocence of a child that was open to the spirit of the world. And then as you got older, you got hardened and you got, frankly,
crusty old
rigid
bitch.
In your beliefs.
Yes, rigid is a great way to put it.
I mean, I would love to think like that would be fun. That would be fun to believe in that stuff. So you know what?
So
I could be convinced.
Okay, you have the power to believe. That's all I want to tell you.
All right.
That's all I want to tell you.
Anyway, McMillan was a delight.
Oh,
and
he's lovely.
By the way, I mean, I did not. I spent like an hour with the guy. I did not realize he was on 38 episodes of True Blood.
Did you listen to my intro? That's what I said off the top.
You said he was on True Blood. That doesn't mean
Well,
anything.
he is on True Blood.
I know, but so 100 people were on it. He was like a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's sort of secondary main character, but
Okay.
anyway.
So now you wish that you had known that before.
Nah, it wouldn't have made a difference, but I was just like, it was more like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, the guy's on True Blood. I don't
He's
know
on
what to
True
tell you.
Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see
great.
it, but he's on it.
So you haven't watched True Blood, Matt?
What are you saying that to me like?
Do you have any
such an
joy
accusatory
and
way.
fun in your life?
He's very rigid.
Be fucking
Very
loosen up.
You know how I feel about Anna Paquin.
There is so much sex in that. I'm surprised.
There's so much sex on the internet, Rachel.
Yeah,
So I don't know what to tell you.
You don't need to
But
go.
It's everywhere. You gotta work to not find it.
Right. That Bill though, Rachel?
What?
Wait, not Bill. What's Sarsgaard's
Oh,
character?
Eric.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's not near a pool, but she's.
I'm making a mess over here.
You know what I'm gonna say. Another follow-up from the Patreon-only episode.
Mm-hmm.
I forget why we were talking about this. Was it talking about what to play and what to play for your kids instead of kids' music?
Yeah, something.
But whatever. We were talking about the Beatles.
The Beatles, yes.
And you said you had a follow-up because you were unsure how your children actually felt about it.
Yes, and I asked them and confirmed they do like the Beatles.
Okay, good.
And we were talking about Happiness is a Warm Gun. And I remember when they were little, and not just when they were little, we used to change lyrics, like Weird Al style of all sorts of, songs and stuff.
What a quirky little family you
I
have.
know, right? It's so cute. But for that song, I would always sing A Penis and a Warm Bum.
Oh, I think I blocked that out.
Yeah, but they never... When they got old enough to sort of... I always thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
What, do you work for ASCAP?
Yes.
Didn't that Tim and Eric song, Crackers and Snacks, didn't we always think it was Crackers and Sex?
We did, yeah.
And
but then I thought that we were changing the lyrics to Crackers and Snacks because the kids had watched it and they started singing it. And we were like, Crackers and Snacks.
Wait.
No, I thought that we thought that it was Crackers and Sex.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It's Crackers and Snacks is the actual lyric. I can't remember. Anyways.
We're depraved.
So you were changing the lyrics to worse things.
Yeah.
So
Bad.
We're not
taking
good
Beatles
parents.
pure, making them disgusting. I don't approve of that. You don't need to make the Beatles sound disgusting to get your kids into real music.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Do you want to play a game called Why Is This Annoying Me So Much?
Sounds awesome.
Isn't that every show?
That's great. It's a great point. But I came across an article this week in Gentleman's Quarterly called "Why Men Are Raw Dogging Flights."
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
Do you know to what this refers? What a raw dogging a flight is?
Absolutely. I've seen multiple reels and TikToks of dudes just sitting on a flight. No water, no podcast,
no
food,
headphones, no movies.
Just puttying it. Like...
Yes, but, okay. So let me start reading from the article here because it seems like actually the move is you just turn on the flight visualization. Mm-hmm. That little plane with the line that goes behind it, and you just watch that for the entire flight. So it says, a 26-year-old Londoner named West, who asked to use only his first name. Okay, I guess I help you along here. That's the first thing I'm annoyed about. This guy is on TikTok. He's giving an interview to a magazine. Yeah. We all know his face.
Right.
Please tell us your last name.
Yeah.
Tell us your fucking last name. All right. A 26-year-old Londoner named West, who went viral in May when he posted about his decision to forego any entertainment and pass a 7-hour trip watching the flight map. Anyone else bareback flights, he asked in the caption? Second reason I'm annoyed. I watched this clip. It's a 10-second clip of him staring straight ahead. How do we fucking know that he was doing that for 7 hours?
We don't. We simply
This isn't GQ, JD.
Listen, the state
this
of journalism...
This isn't GQ, JD.
No.
JD, this isn't GQ.
Wow. I heard you.
So we're really taking these people at their word. Like, this is fucking insane.
Why would he lie, Matt? Why would he lie?
Why would he lie to get people in his comments going, wow, bro, that's cray.
Yeah.
How is this worth listening to or hearing
this
about?
This part of the podcast?
No.
Yeah, that's a great question. If you're listening to this,
put it
down.
Oh my
start
God.
raw dogging. Whatever you're doing, raw dog it.
How is this?
Unless what you're doing is sex.
That
could lead to both diseases and unwanted pregnancies. But if you're having sex while listening to this podcast, you've got bigger problems.
Listen, I think I think Rachel has just cut right to the core of what the problem is, why you're so annoyed with this. It's cutting into our business, baby. We can't have dudes just sitting doing nothing on a plane. That's our fucking bread and butter. It's flights and long drives and cutting the lawn and stuff like that. They should be listening to podcasts. It's not good.
I like what you're saying. First, the people on flights were barebacking, and I said nothing because we weren't on flights. Right. But then you're worried it could spread to the lawnmower and to the car and to the subway.
Chores.
Exactly. Doing the dishes? Yeah. You're going to just sit there and raw dog doing the dishes, bro? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. All right, let me continue here. The concept referred to in a vivid and perhaps unfortunate parlance as raw dogging, flying raw, and bareback resonated with many in the comments on West's TikTok page. @West was here. He'll give out his TikTok handle, but he won't give out his last name.
What a wanker.
Yup, from London to Miami this week. Pure bareback, no food or water, one wrote. I swear barebacking flights make it go quicker, another added. I'll jump in here. No, it didn't.
There's no fucking way.
Bravo.
No, it didn't.
And
I'll tell. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Are you allowed to sleep? Is that part of it?
No.
Because
that's not barebacking. That's
well.
Then everyone could say I bareback 7 hours a night in my bed while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
So, this annoys me because they're watching. This guy's watching the plane go across the screen. From where was he going? Okay, it doesn't say. Well, London to Miami, someone else in his comments said. So you're watching the plane go from London to Miami. A watch pot doesn't boil. I could understand if you just sat there. And by the way, another thing I'm annoyed about is these people just think they invented meditation. Right. This is what meditation is.
Exactly.
It's sitting, focusing on your breath, and not doing anything else that distracts you. Mm-hmm. Anytime something comes into your field of vision or you think of something that's not your breath, you note it and then you go back to focusing on your breath. But when you're focusing on the plane moving, I would say that almost for sure makes it go slower, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would think so.
I also don't like that you get applause for experiencing boredom. Fucking bravo. That's what we did as kids. You're fucking bored a lot.
That's true.
Yeah, we didn't have. We had one movie.
Oh my god.
That was playing on a screen the size of the one you saw Furiosa on, probably.
Yeah. And I'm old enough that we had to listen to it through a fucking stethoscope, little tube thing.
What? Why were the headphones like that?
I don't know. It
doesn't really make any sense.
Well, they weren't wired. It was literally a tube. It was like talking through a tube. Yeah. So.
But they would hand them out still. They wouldn't be. Yeah. Right. So it was probably a durability thing. If it's just a thin wire that they worried that they would tear or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we were driving across the country, so we had to have the Google Maps up, especially when we were not off road on dirt roads, but you know what I mean? Going into this town, coming out of this town, whatever, taking a little detour. But it would frustrate me. We'd get in the car for a 9-hour drive, and then it would say on the thing 9 hours and 8:50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I covered it with a piece of masking tape, so I could still see the map, but I wouldn't see how fucking slowly we were advancing. Mm-hmm. So there's no way that watching a flight makes it go faster.
No way.
No.
Right.
No way.
I've got DMs on Instagram bro, you need to teach us how to bareback flights. West tells GQ. Okay, no, I'm annoyed because no. And what does he need to teach you?
Nobody has DM'd him. I guarantee you.
Okay.
No,
For West, who has since posted multiple videos from his raw flights, including his longest, a 21-hour slog from London to Perth, Australia. The practice simply resulted from how much he has to travel for work in the music industry. I got sick of watching the same movies, he says.
What?
Does he know about movies and how they keep getting released?
Yeah.
Does he know about books?
Is
Has
this
he
Lee
heard
Ellis?
of such a thing?
Watching Mrs. Doubtfire every time he gets on a plane?
This is Lee. But the thing is, Lee would never get bored of watching Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he would never complain about it.
Never, ever.
Who is watching these videos of him doing nothing?
Well, they're 10 seconds, so it's pretty easy.
Video yourself for 21 hours and upload it to YouTube. 21 hours of me flying from London to Perth, Australia. Then I will believe that you've done this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a 20-second TikTok ain't going to cut it, sir.
Is this rage bait?
It's working.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe.
it's just a bit for us to yell at.
Just like the one you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Well, let him finish, and I'll.
No, just jump in now.
Okay.
If you're angry, just say it.
I'm angry, man. There was another video this week that sort of got, it was just one of those. What in the world is this person talking about? It was this, and it's gone very viral. You may have seen it. It's this woman who's like, "Oh, can we just normalize getting the other parent to chip in money for a play date?" Have you seen this?
Oh, I actually did see this.
So she's like, I sent a message to the mother of this kid who came over, and I sent her basically a tally of everything that their kid consumed while they were at my house, and I can't afford to keep having these play dates if they don't contribute. So it was
very granular. Right?
I sent her
ink in the marker, one juice box,
the number of pumps on the soap. When they wash their hands, sitting on the couch, wear and tear, $1, that kind of thing. She broke a toy, so that's $5 right there. Anyway, so it's very granular, and it's basically, but it's not real. It's not true. But it got me. So I was.
How do you know it's not true?
Because
I saw people.
Well, because this is what she did, and this is why I want to tip my hat to her. But also, I want her to go away and delete her account, because what she did was she said, well, she Venmo'd me the money, $15, and that was it. And then I said, thanks very much, and I hope blah 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 blah. But when she said she Venmo'd me the money, she put up the screenshot of the Venmo of the money, right?
Yeah.
That included the person's name on the Venmo. That's important because guess what happened? People started sending the woman who Venmo'd her $15 money, right? Because, I feel bad about this.
Really fucking smart.
And the person who owns that Venmo account was the rage baiter in the first place.
Oh my God, that is genius.
It's genius, right?
That's genius.
Also, fuck you.
What?
No, that's fucking genius. You could put me on a 28-hour flight from wherever to wherever. I would never be able to come up with that.
I know, me neither. I wouldn't, yeah.
Do you understand what a fucking waste of mental resources this person is just because they want to be a fucking YouTube star? When they could be fucking curing cancer, but instead they're just, how can I make money off of media? Oh my God. Like, what a waste of fucking time.
Well, I don't know. It seemed to work, and
I don't know.
It's pretty ingenious, but
it's pretty.
Never.
Wait, so then how did it come out that person was the person?
She admitted it. She admitted it.
Oh, why? Then
in a subsequent TikTok, she's like, ha ha.
Asshole.
So funny.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. It's like, but it says right in her. It says rage baiter on her profile, her TikTok profile.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I like to think that I have a decent eye for these things.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, this plane thing is in GQ, and someone reported it out. I mean, they interviewed this guy.
Right.
But there's two that you're reminding me of that I saw this week. One, did you see the post in a parent group similar to the one you're talking about, where the person was like, does anyone have any tips for, when my son is dating, has his first girlfriend, is dating his first girl, because it's happening to me, and it's really tearing me apart because, I was the first woman in his life and his first love, and he's 19 and now he's dating, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking
this
about?
Is weird. Yeah.
And then this person
so
comes like, sorry, you're just jealous that you don't have as strong a bond as I have with my son, so now you're coming on here and yelling at me. But you're telling me we know that there's mothers that have inappropriate, and when I say inappropriate, I don't mean sexual in any way. I just mean a relationally inappropriate thing with their children, where they're codependent on them or whatever. This is a thing. I've seen it before.
Yeah, sure.
So it's not impossible.
No.
That a mother would be jealous of her son's girlfriend.
Right. Yeah.
There's something wrong there because.
Yeah, I know there's something wrong.
No, but
is it
like
real?
innately very off, because you want your child to like you want good for your child, not bad. Like
I don't believe it. Kind of like I've seen. This is a thing that I've seen as well, is like a gender reveal where the mother's being overly creepy about the gender of the baby, right? So it'll be a standard gender reveal. It's like, oh, it's a boy. And then the husband and wife are like, yay. But then the mother just comes into frame and she's like, yay, and jumps on her son and, they start spinning around like they're the couple kind of thing. Oh. And I don't believe any of them. Like, I think that they are like that for people to go, ew, comment, ew, this is gross. It's just engagement. And it just
that's very disturbing.
I don't know, because you do hear from women in relationships that like, I find it very hard to go over to my in-laws because, my husband's mother acts like, my husband is her husband.
Yeah.
Okay, what about homeschooling mom? Did you see that one?
No, maybe go on.
It's this mother, and she's like, there's no point in sending your kids to school. Like, they'll tell you what they want to learn. Like, for instance, my son, he's been asking me about words, and I don't ever force him to learn anything. He just tells me what he wants to learn. And look at this. And she flips through like a notebook that the kid has, and he's like writing like cat, dog in like the shittiest handwriting. The A is backwards.
And he's 6, and people are right? Like, he's like,
yeah, like I forget what age it was, but everyone in the comments was basically like at an age where if you put him in school, he would be years behind at this point.
Right.
And so that, to me, that could be a rage bait one too. Don't know. But people
it's hard to say.
I forget
it's hard to say.
What that type of homeschooler. What were
it's
they
the
called?
unlearners or the unschooling. Unschooling.
I can't remember, but yeah. So your kid never has to do anything they don't want to do. Mm-hmm. Awesome. They're gonna be a fucking terror in society. Sometimes you gotta do shit you don't want to do, babe.
That's right. So, okay, well, just to finish this up and just to figure out conclusively why I'm so annoyed. Okay, West said on a recent trip from London to Bali, it taught him there are benefits to raw dogging beyond its meditative nature. His best ideas, he says, have come from the time he spent locked into the flight map, just thinking, I'm there, like, oh, we're over Afghanistan. Oh, we're going at 36,000 feet instead of 37. Okay. This is starting to sound faker and faker the more I read it out loud. Yeah. Who would say this earnestly?
Yeah.
Like, you would be going over Afghanistan for a significant period of time, on this plane. And you're like literally going, Turkmenistan, finally. The experience left him refreshed. When I saw my mom upon landing, she was like, you have so much energy, he recalls. And I'm like, I feel fine. I feel recharged. I feel like I've been able to have time to find myself. The last benefit may be the most significant. Everyone else leaves you alone. West recalls how a man who was seated next to him in the middle seat opted to squeeze past 2 people on his other side rather than disturb West. He must have been like, I do not want to bother him right now, West says with a laugh. He's locked into this altitude. What is this guy talking about? That's the person that you can most disturb. The person you don't want to disturb is the person that's eating snacks and has drinks on his tray table and's got to pick them all up.
He's like, this weirdo sleeps with his eyes open. What? I don't want to wake him up.
Okay, and now, Rachel, something that you can say why it annoys you. West says that women who have commented on his videos are usually doing so to express shock. Taking flights raw seems to be a masculine thing, he says. Oh, you are too much of a woman to look at a flight map for 21 hours.
I am too, I don't understand boredom. I don't understand being with one's own thoughts. Like, this guy is an idiot. Like, he's never not been locked into media at all times. So this is huge to him. It's like he just discovered something amazing. How old is he? Maybe he's
26.
He looks not young.
Not young.
Oh, I thought
late 20s?
Yeah, 20s.
Yeah, but that's like what, iPad kid generation? Like, maybe this is like blowing his mind because he's never not been locked into a device.
Right. Are you allowed to pee?
It's interesting you say that. Some people were like, oh man, I tried. I made it to hour 19, but then I had to pee. And everyone's like, oh, it's okay, man. You'll do it next time.
What?
I don't.
I am scared for this generation. Holy fuck. If you're celebrating that boredom and oh my God, I was able to experience, we're fucked. We are
like,
fucked.
You got Garrett McNamara trying to fucking surf 100-foot wave, and we got this guy just trying to sit still for a few hours. It's just
It's disturbing.
Well, Rachel, you'll be happy to know that the joke's on you because this isn't an article in GQ. This is rage bait that I made up. No, just kidding. This is an article in GQ. It is an article in GQ. I would never prank you like that. Join us Monday for a new episode of Is This Good featuring Tyler Jackson. He's a comedian. He's in Los Angeles. He's recording his hour soon, so we're very excited to have him on. Of course, you can email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe everywhere. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. This was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. Do you know how we got there?
we raw dogged it all the way out
We
here.
raw dogged it all the way to the great beyond.
Raw dog rage.
But we'll see you next week.
Bye.